So it's now been a couple of months since I set up this terrarium for my Leopard Gecko Coco. But in this video, I want to go through the things that have worked very well in this terrarium and the things I would do differently if I had another chance to build it. And the first thing I like to cover is the overall idea that I had with the scape. I wanted it to be a scape where Coco could use the entire terrarium and kind of walk around or roam around as he pleased. I wanted there to be features that he can climb on, so we can get up as well, because in the old terrarium that he had, in the old setup, he liked climbing a lot. So I wanted to make that available for him in here as well. I wanted him to have a lot of different heights. I didn't just want him to have the ones that he needed. I wanted him really to be able to use all of the ones that he wanted to and be wherever he felt was the most comfortable in his specific situation. So that was the overall idea. Now, did I succeed with it? Partly, yes. He has heights. He doesn't have as many as I would have wanted to. He's not able to use the entire space of the terrarium, but he is able to climb if that's what he wants. And he does have a lot of the ground floor, ground area as well that he can use, which is perfect. But yeah, if I would have to do it differently, I would probably try and build more heights and build the background more out into the terrarium as well, because that would give him some more areas for coverage, and it also just, I think, look better in many ways. And now we can move on to some of the things that I would do differently, because the background in here has been, in my opinion, a complete failure. It doesn't look good. The moss is, falling off slowly, and I have to keep reattaching it to the background. It doesn't stick. You can see through the sand as well, and the sand didn't create the layer that I had initially hoped that it would. So overall, it just doesn't look good, and you're able to see the scaping foam in many areas. So I would do that differently, and I don't think I would use scaping foam for the next scape. I'll probably use some concrete-based or clay-based materials in order to make it look a lot better. Because in many ways, I don't think that the terrarium has turned out naturalistic as I had initially hoped. I mean, you have the live plants, which was a big part of the idea for the scape. But other than that, it doesn't really look like a leopard gecko's natural habitat. So that is something that I would like to do differently as well if I have the chance. But other than that, other than the background being a complete failure, I'm actually pretty happy with a lot of the other things. I like the thing that I did here with this branch, where it actually attaches to his basking rock, and it also comes down and attaches to the tunnel as well. That provides some depth and that provides some height as well. And the plants as well are actually also doing good. I have made some small changes where I have put in this aloe vera plant. And yeah, many of the nerf plants, they have unfortunately died out. There are 2 left, but I don't think that they'll be here for much longer. And also one of the red dracaenas have also died, but this one is still going strong. The jade plants as well, they're growing. I have put in some more jade plant stems as well, because I wanted to fill in this kind of mid-ground section a bit more and make it look a bit more forestry, because it did look quite barren before. And the rubber tree as well is also doing good. The rubber tree is always my indicator of when I have to mist the terrarium, actually, because the leaves will kind of, as you see, it's actually starting to do here, kind of start to hang a little bit. And that will tell me that the terrarium will need to be misted. So it's always good that the plants can help me make that indicator of when it's time to do that. The next we can go through is Coco and how his behavior has actually changed in the terrarium when he's moved in here, because in the old terrarium he liked climbing a lot. He would always try to escape, he would always try to climb onto the background and get out of his home, but he hasn't climbed at all here. I mean, I can force him to climb when I'm holding food, but other than that, he's just not interested in climbing. He mainly stays in his warm height here, where he has his heat mat underneath, or he stays in the tunnel here, where he'll roam around, do as he please. But I haven't really seen him up here. I mean, I have also changed these 2 rocks in where they're placed, because he never really used the basking rock, and I don't think he really fit up there as well. So I've made this into kind of a small height as well, but he's not using it, and he's not using this moss height as well either. I haven't seen him up here. Maybe I will. We've moved into spring here in Northern Europe, that means the temperature is getting warmer, and that'll also have an effect on Coco and his behavior, even though the temperatures are almost constant in the terrarium. So I'm actually excited to see how that will change, because he has been quite boring in this cave. He's just stayed in his hide over the winter, and he hasn't really moved that much from there, other than when it's time for feeding. I don't think he has went into full brumation, but he has actually showed signs that his metabolism is slowing down. He's also eaten a lot less, but that's also because he's grown a bit and has gotten a bit older. So I don't need to feed him as much, but he's also, yeah, eaten a bit less than I would expect him to do, and that I expect him to do over the summer period as well. The next thing we can cover is the hides, and as I mentioned, this is his warm hide. He has a heat mat underneath, and I also have a thermostat which is built into the heat mat, but I also have a thermometer probe in the hide as well, so I can always monitor the temperature. The temperature is always fluctuating from about 28 degrees Celsius up into 30.5 degrees Celsius. So the temperature always stays constant between that, and that's where I want the temperature to be as well. And of course, since I have the thermometer probe in here as well, I can always see if there is a malfunction in the heat mat. And if that happens, I can act quickly, and it will also shut off automatically, so nothing bad will happen to Coco, which is of course the most important thing. The other hides that he has is this moss hide, which I initially planned to be his humid hide, but he's not using this, so yeah, it's just here for decorations. Then he has the long tunnel, which also the heat mat comes up to about here, so this part in the beginning of the tunnel from his warm hide is actually also a warm hide, but over here in the back, it's where we move on to the cooler side. So it's actually a bit of both, and he can also use the tunnel to adjust his temperature while being in the hide at all times, which I think he spends a lot of time in the hide, so I think he enjoys that he can kind of move around there freely and adjust his temperature accordingly to what he needs. The bad thing about this hide is that I cannot reach in to clean because it's attached to the background. And he has made the part here relatively close to the middle his bathroom as well. So that's where he goes to do his waste. But there is no bad odors or anything in the terrarium. So my guess is that the isopods and the springtails are doing their work in cleaning up his waste, which is also why I added the cleanup crew in here, because I got sick in the old terrarium of having to come in every day and clean up after him. But I haven't done this once in this terrarium, and there are no bad odors or anything, and that's, to me, shows that the ecosystem is balanced and it's doing its job perfectly. The last hide that he has is this hide here, which is almost too small for him. He can just creep in there and stay comfortable, and I am also using this as his humid hide. I have seen him in here actually a lot more over the past few weeks than I did the first few months. So maybe that's a sign that he's coming out of his semi-brumation phase. I'm not too sure, but I'm also using this as his humid hide. So whenever I mist the terrarium, I make sure to also come in and mist this hide extensively, so he can come in here if that's what he wants to. And he is using this hide when he is shedding his old skin, so that is also good, that he is utilizing the 3 hides in the manner that is intended. Alright, so the last thing that we can do for the video is to talk about the gecko that I built the terrarium for. He is above 2 years old now, approximately. I got him in November of 2024, and we're now approaching the end of March 2026. So yeah, he is approximately two years old now, because I got him as well when he was a bit older than a baby. But yeah, I think actually he's grown to be quite big for his species, and I'm not too sure. I don't think he'll grow much more than this, so I think he'll stay this size. And I think that, yeah, I don't think he'll grow much more. I am feeding him now once every 3 days, and when I am feeding him, I'll just let him eat whatever he can, and when he doesn't want to have any more food, he'll just walk away himself. So that's the easiest way he'll tell me when he's had enough, basically. But yeah, overall, I mean, in these months, when I built this terrarium, we were approaching the end of the fall. So naturally, he would have had a slowdown phase there due to their own biological clock, basically. So yeah, I'm actually really intrigued to see how his behavior will change coming into the summer, and seeing if he'll come back to climbing, if he'll use the basking areas more to soak up the UVB that I have in the 2 light bulbs up here. Maybe, I'm not too sure. I'm also planning to rebuild the terrarium at some time in the future because, I mean, all in all, I'm not 100% happy with how it looks. I want it to be more naturalistic, and I want it to be a better representation of leopard gecko's natural habitat, because that is not what it is now. And I want him to be a lot more comfortable, and I want him to have even more places where he can hide and seek refuge if that's what he desires. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the update on Coco's terrarium. If you like this video, subscribe, why not? There's a lot more content to come, also of this guy. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.